Let's now begin with our first panel session, Disrupting Travel, the Role of Technology and AI in Revolutionizing Journeys. This panel will explore how advancements in technology are reshaping the travel industry and the way we experience the world. So please welcome the esteemed moderator, Syed Farazul Ghani, founder and CEO of Booking Advisors Private Limited, and our distinguished panelists, Ms. Nazareen Ibrahim, visionary leader in media, technology, and AI ethics. Dr. Omer Ayoub, business development and IT director at Al Baid Guests. Muhammad Ali Ebrahim, Vice President of Marketing Communication at Hashu Hospitality Group. Mr. Dean Wicks, Chief Flight Officer at Wego. Mr. Muhassin Irtiqa, Country Director at Sabre, Pakistan. So let's begin our first panel.
Thank you so much for the distinguished panel of speakers for coming in this prestigious session of Disrupt Technology. I'd like to begin our interactive sessions by taking the first speaker, Ms. Nazareen Ibrahim, on the AI. Let me just give you just quick view. We have 5 different categories of speakers, specializes in the specific fields. Ms. Nazareen Ibrahim looks after she's specialist in the artificial intelligence and data ethics. We have Dr. Omer, who is specialist in the technology side on Saudi tourism. We also have Mr. Muhassin Irtiqa, who is the country head of Sabre, who looks after the air consolidator business in Pakistan and the overall picture of the air consolidations and the air trade. Lastly, we have Mr. Dean, who is the country head for Wego. Wego is a OTA, and I'm assuming that they're launching in Pakistan. We'll have a conversation with them. So I'll start with Ms. Nazareen on the artificial side. Ms. Nazareen, how is AI currently transforming the travel industry, if you may give us some idea?
Assalamu alaikum and good morning. It's wonderful to be here. It's a great place to start. When you think about AI transforming any industry, you always think about the essential use cases of that industry. Essential use cases for travel, particularly are around enhancing the traveler experience, but also optimizing the value chain of various partners or stakeholders in that industry or value chain. And the value chain there would be everyone from government as a regulatory or enabler for a certain industry, or that outline of whatever players, both corporate sector, civil society organizations, and private individuals who are working are able to take advantage or optimize their own experiences. So very much when you think about AI as an application of foundational technology, you're thinking about ways to make it better. And we know currently we are seeing wave day after day of how AI, as a generative AI, whether you're producing text, whether you're asking the use of facial recognition to empower people at airports to quickly go through if they have a visa or if they don't have one, just as a quick example, down to whether an app on your phone has certain type of AI functionality that also again enhances the travel experience. So we talk about it in that broad spectrum just to give the audience a quick overview of understanding, as the rest of the colleagues I know will go through the rest of the
Do you consider that, well, there is a debate in the travel space that chatbots are taking over the customer relationship, right? And especially in the travel sector, right? The question is, if the chatbots or other technology is taking over the humans, right? Then the argument here that the more the application of automation will go, there is an element, especially in the developing countries, right? There's a big argument that it will create a job losses as well, right?
Yes.
How do we compensate?
Look, I'll try to answer this as simply as possible. You talked, just to give an overview of the question, the chatbot versus physical human interaction in customer experience or customer service, and what that might look like in a developing nation situation. Now, we know that WhatsApp, as an example, is the most primary method of communication when it comes to customer service right now. We are seeing a considerable rise. It would explain why regions like India and others would get first opportunity when tests are being done on beta features with WhatsApp, as an example. Further to that, when you look at the chatbot functionality and that issue of taking away the human interaction, there is a great discussion right now around the capability of AI to mimic human reasoning, human voice, which we are seeing through the tools that we use, whether it's OpenAI's ChatGPT or DeepSeek, as you have all been reading around, and its enhanced capability of being able to reason and learn. That, however, doesn't remove the human interaction in the value chain or the interaction, only because we can't, and I do believe this, having gone through studies and research and working with our customers, that you can't replace the human insight, because there is a added level of reasoning as well as empathy and the nature of what we call soft skills when you're interacting with another human being that isn't yet prevalent in what they are terming AGI, or artificial general intelligence.
So the bigger question will remain there, that if, for example, the developing countries start applying the automations, right, so they get more data, right? One of the concern is that how ethical the data capability is. So we have a data, right, but we don't have the tools available to secure those data, right? The question is, how do we, the companies, whether it is the tour operator or the OTAs, or the hotel operator or the airlines, for example. So they are securing the data, right? Ethical question is, are we implementing in the right direction?
Are we implementing in the right direction? The answer is yes and no, and it fluctuates on a day-to-day basis. Destination management organizations are very important in this regard. I'll give you the South African example. The Gauteng Tourism Authority, which is based in Gauteng, it's one of the provinces in South Africa, one of the 9 provinces. And they are, like every other tourism or destination management organization, are looking or understanding how is government enabling that regulatory environment in order to do that. Now, countries around the world do have national AI strategies. Part of that strategy and the implementation of that is looking at various global frameworks. Some of them are UNESCO's recommendations on ethics, as well as the OECD has a principle of AI ethics that many corporations, both at a government level and globally, including the World Economic Forum, are trying to apply.
Interesting. I'll go for the second one. Dr. Omer, how is the travel technology transforming the Saudi tourism?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, thank you so much for gathering this support to Pakistan Travel Mart and to all the organizers for this amazing opportunity to speak more about tourism and to collaborate and to enhance the tourism division from industry experts from all around the world. So speaking specifically about Saudi, how the tourism has evolved over the past course of years, I think the world has witnessed it firsthand. Now, if you talk about the trends, in Saudi, as of 2024, has just concluded, 80% of the booking ratio has been through online patrons, which is expected to reach up to 86% by 2029. So if we look at the growth, the growth has been amazing in the destination itself. You see Saudi everywhere around the world. When you go visit any country, the moment you land, for example, last time when I was in WTM, I landed at Heathrow, and the first thing that you get to see when you walk out of the terminal is the Saudi pavilion advertisements. So it's all about the ecosystem. It's not just one component that is driving change or improving enhancing the tourist experience. So what we can see and what we have witnessed over the past couple of years is the DMOs, the destination management organizations, which are, for example, we have Royal Commission of Al-Ula, which has heavily invested in providing the VR and augmented reality experiences. So if you visit the RCU stand, you will be equipped with a VR device and it's an immersive experience that lets you understand or give a feel of like while you're on the stand, but actually you're walking in a. Other than this, many of the OTAs in Saudi Arabia are offering comprehensive products with the use of technology, and then you can streamline your requirements according to your AI prompt. So, for example, today, the travel agent would, in a B2B community, the travel agent would, rather than speaking back and forth with the suppliers, they would use a platform using the AI prompt, and they will ask to generate an itinerary, for example, for 2 nights comprising of Jeddah, Riyadh, Al-Ula, 2 nights each. That's for 6 nights. So using the AI prompts, it will make a few combinations and give you the offer within the limited budget limitation that you have. So the drive is being directly monitored and driven by the Ministry of Tourism in Saudi Arabia, along with Saudi Tourism Authority, who is the aggregator in this case, and they are the enablers who are equipping or bridging the gap between the local DMCs and the trade partners from around the world. I'm sure most of the travel agents are already working in Umrah and Hajj sector. Other than this, if you look at the way the transformation, so digital transformation is one of the initiatives of His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman as part of the Vision 2030, that we aim to achieve digital transformation across all walks of life that will enable the end user or the B2B partner to render the services through the digital platforms. And AI is one of the essence that is being integrated across all the domains. We have a dedicated center by the name of SEDAIA, which is Saudi Data and Artificial Intelligence Authority, that specifically has the regulations on the use of AI, the big data, and integration of AI across multiple platforms.
Thank you. So, as you know, Pakistan is one of the top 10 source market for the religious travel for Saudi Arabia, right? And most of the audience that we are sitting here, this is a B2B event where are you facing challenges when it comes to service delivery in terms of the B2B business, especially the Umrah and Hajj, with respect to the Pakistan audience?
Right. So let's speak about Umrah separately because Hajj is completely different. It's a different ecosystem. Umrah is different. So again, like I mentioned, that the Ministry of Tourism is directly involved in many of the initiatives to promote Saudi as a destination today. One of the key things or the key initiatives that have been taken in order to enhance or improve the visitor experience is to provide them or equip them with information from the time the guest arrives in Saudi across any land or airport or by any means of transportation. They get to know that these are the contact information from Ministry of Tourism. This is a helpline. There's a dedicated helpline that is installed in each and every hotel today, and especially in Mecca and Medina. So there's a dedicated helpline where you can directly reach out to the Ministry of Tourism if you have any questions or inquiries, or if you would like to suggest something in order to improve the service. Secondly, there is a scrutinization process or evaluation process for the DMCs that involves making sure that you are legally allowed to work as a DMC in Saudi, that your services are up to date, that you have the right necessary infrastructure and the capability in the team to deliver the services. And then there is a further level of verification or working with, when you're working on a government-based initiative, when you're working with tourism boards, for example, when you're working with Saudi Tourism Authority. So, there's a process of licensing as a DMC to work or to organize the trips. Now, this process itself is a rigorous process that verifies everything, that you have all the tools and utilities and your staff and support that is required to deliver the services.
So, if I understand correctly, there are 3 straight guidelines by the Saudi tourism. If the customer is having issues, right, at time of the service delivery, there is a complaint, some kind of number inside the hotel. right?
Yes, there is.
Or there are places where the end customer, which is the end traveler, can go and complain to whether the supplier or the DMC or whoever it is, right? And that complaint will be launched and there will be some actions, because this is the news I'm assuming from most of the B2B players who are sitting, right? So there is a standard guidelines, if I understand correctly, that there is a compliance availability, there is a UN or some kind of tool number where people can talk to them, right? And apart from that, there is a list of approved DMCs, right, on the Saudi tourism websites, where anyone can go and see who are authorized to offer the products of the Saudi tourism, if I understand correctly.
I what you have mentioned is absolutely correct. So, in order to lodge a complaint or to file a complaint, as always, there is an escalation matrix that will be first-hand provided by the DMC who is organizing this event or organizing the trip. So DMC is first-hand responsible to address the questions that are being raised by the customer. In case the DMC is unable to address them or they are not rightly dealing with the situation as it is supposed to be, then the consumer directly has a right to reach out to the ministry and to speak to them. And for each complaint, there will be a ticket number, there will be a follow-up. So the entire ecosystem is today supportive of enhancing the guests or the visitors' experience while in Saudi. Speaking about the second part that you mentioned about, you asked about
approved list of the DMC.
Approved list of the DMC. So today, as soon as any of the DMC gets a license as a destination management company, they get a license registration number, which is registered in the Ministry of Tourism. And of course, Saudi Tourism Authority has a local presence in Pakistan, so the team members or anybody who is willing to work for Saudi, to sell Saudi as a destination, they can reach out to the Saudi Tourism Authority team, ask them, have their say on what are the top performing DMCs in Saudi, what are their products, evaluate them, review them, get in direct contact with the DMCs, understand what are their strengths, what are their pros and cons. And I think there's a harmony that needs to be built between the local travel agent and the Saudi-based DMC. Because it's not just one person, it's not just one part of this story. The travel agent has to manage his group from his side, and then there will be a handover as soon as the group arrives in Saudi towards the collaborating DMC.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I'll go to Sabre. Mr. Muhassin, there is a big debate at this point of time in the air business or air consolidation business between NDC versus GDS, right? Is NDC going to replace GDS in the long run?
Thank you, Faraz. It's a very important question. Most of the people are thinking GDS should be no longer available in the coming days. But with my experience and with my knowledge, I'm totally against this concept. In the last 25 years, the travel trade is completely diversified. They started with the manual ticketing, then the auto ticketing, then the e-ticket, and now we are talking about the NDC. GDS role should remain same. Yes, GDS little bit diversify their activities as well, but now most of the airlines are offering their NDC through the GDS. NDC is currently in a very initial phase. Some airlines launched it, some airlines are launching it, and some airlines are planning to launch it. So GDS should remain same, and now in the future, all the NDCs, all the airline NDCs, ancillaries, all the valuable services they should provide through the GDS. So GDS should remain be there, but they will distribute the NDC through the GDS platform.
So if I understand correctly, Sabre Pakistan is in the process of taking or trying to develop the B2B OTAs, connectivities on the larger audience, right? There are a lot of We have seen the last couple of months or probably years, right, in Pakistan, where Sabre is aggressively pursuing and connecting APIs with the Pakistani travel agents, right? Are you foreseeing a challenge in the resource of the travel technology?
Yes, Faraz, in the last couple of years, approximately 75 to 80 OTAs are working in Pakistan. Mostly they are B2B. Recently, some of them are launched their B2C product as well. The major challenge of the OTAs in Pakistan is the fintech payment solutions. This is a very big challenge. And secondly, the adoption of the technology. Still, travel trade is not ready to adopt 100% technology. Yes, we are in a process. We are working closely with our developer partners, and we are pushing our developer partners to go with the Sabre authorized developers, so we can offer the Sabre authorized developer partners in the market. Recently, we conducted the workshops, and we invited our head office, our API teams to give more briefing to the developers team in Pakistan. So we are working very closely with the developers, and this is our main focus in the coming years. Not only to educate the travel agencies, but also to give the complete technical enhanced services to our developer partners.
In the long run, let's say in the next 2 to 3 years, are you seeing more OTAs in Pakistan?
Yes, because currently the awareness is coming. The people want to go online, but they have their own challenges. So in the coming 2 to 3 years, you will definitely see at least more than 100 OTAs will be appear in the coming days. And mostly right now it's in the pipeline. They are developing or they are underdeveloped. So probably in the coming days, you will see a lot of change in the Pakistan travel trade.
Is it only restricted to the air content, or you are expecting other content to be add-on, for example, hotels, the transfers, the other packages in the Sabre content?
Yeah, in the Sabre capacity, we are offering the air, the LCC carriers, NDC, and the hotels as well. But yes, there are a lot of other aggregators of the different hotel companies are available in the market, even thought one of you as well. So the hotel APIs are also available. So we are assisting the customers to add on the hotel APIs, air APIs, insurance APIs, or the car rental companies as well.
Thank you. I'll come to Mr. Dean, which is similar to the air content. Dean, you are one of the, I think, so most admired company in the very short period, right, where you are phenomenally popular in the MENA region, right, as Wego. Being as initially, or one of your segment is a meta search, and now you are, if I'm not wrong, you're launching in the OTA in Pakistan, right?
That's correct.
Can you please walk us? How did you come up with the idea of launching in Pakistan, knowingly the challenges that we have?
Yeah. Thank you. So yes, we're the number one travel app in the Middle East. So we have 50 million monthly active users. And the main feeder markets actually for the Middle East, one of them being Pakistan. Now, we've had our marketplace here in Pakistan for a number of years, and we've seen the growth be phenomenal. So just from Pakistan to the GCC, we see a consistent growth of 70% in searches every single month. So we've been getting an additional 1 million people a month, just searching from Pakistan to the GCC. So, but the problem is in Pakistan is payments. So, we have a meta search product which has the local Pakistani OTAs on there, but there isn't many. And of course, we like lots of OTAs in the marketplace. More fragmented it is, the more need for comparison, the better it is for us. So one of the things that we then decided to do is, why is there no OTAs in this market? We realized it was payments. So we've now launching officially our OTA business here in Pakistan, taking the learnings that we have from the meta search model and the learnings that we have from the partners that we have, and we're going to try and solve them. So it's a big journey ahead of us. Literally, we just got our IATA and our licensing and so forth and contracting, but in the days ahead or in the next few months is trying to figure out how we can best address the marketplace, especially with cash payments and limitations on payments and the maximum amount that you can actually transact as well. So there's a lot of restrictions that we're having to work through, but it is such a fast-growing market. I mean, we see over 100% year on year on domestic Pakistan as well, the searches. And constantly we see Saudi Arabia is the number one sort of destination, international destination for Pakistanis. But we've also seen some really new destinations coming up as well. And that's been brought about through changes to visas for Pakistani passport holders. You know, places like Vietnam has just, shot up dramatically ever since visa regulations have changed. So we're trying to capitalize on that. We're utilizing a lot of AI as well in surfacing the right destinations at the right time to do a lot of personalization. And we're speaking about chatbots. That is something that we're doing as well with AI.
I can understand this.
Yeah,
of course. Now, I'm going a little bit straight just to understand what value propositions Wego is bringing in Pakistan market. In comparison with the other two OTAs, which is already exist in Pakistan, I'll name it, for example, BookMe or Sasta Ticket, right? What is the differential points between the Wego and the rest of the OTAs?
So we go with our meta search. So you're doing one search and you're comparing basically the price, the inclusions, etc., with the different OTAs that are on there. So you'll do a search at the moment. Yes, you'll seem to say BookMe or Sasta Ticket, etc., and the airlines direct, whether it be FlyJinner or AirBlue, etc., so that people can make an informed decision on who to book with and what inclusions are in there. We're also putting ourselves as Wego as an option on the rate card as to compare as well, and we're not going to say necessarily we're the cheapest, and we won't be the cheapest at all times, but we will have our own, everyone has their own point of difference. We're going to try and solve the payment issue. We'll do the 24-hour customer service. We'll have the local, we're going to go hyper-local. So each one, I was comparing today, each different OTA or airline in Pakistan has a different payment mix and what they accept. So actually the conversion rate will vary dramatically, dependent on what you can offer. And that really is the differential point, is what is included.
So there are challenges, but I'm assuming the opportunity is too high.
Yes.
So you're ready to take the challenge. I'm assuming one of the biggest challenge is the payment plan, I guess, right? This is what I understand, right? Let's say if you solve the payment plan, right? How do you service the customer? So if you're taking technology, right, as the tool, let's say AI, for example, in Pakistan, right, the literacy rate is around 20%, right? There will be a challenge to service the end customer. So if I buy a ticket on Wego and I need to amend it, right, or need some changes, right, what sort of a customer support are you looking at?
So what we have today and what we are working on. So today we have the 24/7 customer service, multilingual, so they can call in, they'll have a local number, and one of our agents would help them. We have like WhatsApp as well. So we've got a different variety. They can email, they can chat. Now we're also doing the manage your own booking and the chat bot, which will allow, via automation, not only people to amend their booking, but flight disruption. So if there's flight has been disrupted, we can automatically alert people as well to changes. So we are doing everything from speaking to a person, to chatting to a person, to literally automation via AI.
This is amazing. We all sitting in a tech environment. We have seen the transformations of the technology from air to sustainability to other part. Now, when you offering, so your plan is to provide a value proposition in the Pakistani market, right? Are you only restricted to the air content?
No. So, I personally look after the air side of the business, but which is majority of our business model. But hotels, flights, car hire, we are a full service sort of OTA model, as well as meta search model. It's literally the flights, hotels and cars have been the first thing to actually bring into this market.
All right, thank you so much, appreciate. I'll come back to you the last session, right? But I'll start with Ali. So Hasho is a big name, it's one of the largest hotel operator, right? And we have seen the transformation of Hashos as in the technology side, right? It's from the user experience to the supply side. If I look at how do you see travel technology shaping up the future for Hasho as a hotel operator?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you so much, Faraz. I believe that question that you just asked, it is a challenging question, and I must admit. And if I were to, let's say, put up a bold answer right now, the future of technology with regard to travel is all about providing smart, personalized services. And of course, at the bottom of it, it's going to be usage of technology. And yes, is Pakistan ready? I believe yes. And I'll give you some background evidence to it. If you look at the past 2 decades, globally, we have witnessed advancements in technology at a rapid pace. It was not long ago when we were talking about the dot-com boom in the late 90s and the early 2000s, where internet was being used as the primary medium of communication, information sharing, commerce. Fast forward 2010, we saw advancements in cloud computing, machine learning, big data. That really set the pace or the base to actually introduce artificial intelligence. And now in 2020 onwards, we've just seen a revolution in AI, especially when you talk about large language models, ChatGPT, and every business and organization, they're literally racing against time in terms of using AI in one way or the other, because it is impacting each one of us at a personal, in the professional environments that we are currently operating in. So yes, anybody who has been bold enough in order to embrace technology, they've been able to withstand and they have been able to do some remarkable stuff. But at the same time, people, organizations that did not embrace technology, they have been slightly behind in the race. Now, when it comes to travel, we are no different as well, because being part of one of the largest hospitality service providers. But I speak in general, hospitality and tourism industry is no different. It has to evolve, because right now, with the passage of technology, as I just described, as advancements in technologies is taking place, just a few months ago, ChatGPT was the talk of town. But now, is it really that? Because now you have even much more disruptions happening. DeepSeek is now the new boy in town, and it has wiped trillions of dollars in the market just with the introduction of some very, very smart app. So that's the kind of rapid pace that technology is taking place. And of course, when you talk about travel as well, what is changing? Now guests, they want personalized services. They want something that is really, really suited to them in a customized, in a personalized, as per their aspirations. How can you do that? That is where technology comes in. And it's really that actual usage, how you can implement technology within your operations, how you cultivate those partnerships. Aftab Rana Sahab over here, I'm a big, I follow him, and it comments. The comment goes to the government side as to how they have been leading some tourism advancements and all. And Pakistan is really being put up on the global map in terms of tourism, especially this PTM platform. And why not? Pakistan is blessed to offer so much amazing experiences, right from the up north with the majestic mountains to some of the beautiful and serene valleys, glaciers, to some of the beaches and everything, and of course the warmth of people and rich culture heritage. But now when we talk about serving the customers, how do you connect with him or her? It's actually going the extra mile, getting to know them. What do they like? What kind of cuisines do they like? What kind of additional amenities can we offer? Because now people are not just looking for a normal room. They want that, okay, what else can I actually go if I'm visiting another city or another country? What else can I do when I'm there? So this is where technology can really come in, help us guide, okay, if somebody is coming in, what kind of, let's say, temperature controlled rooms do they like to stay in? What kind of dining options do they like to do? Are they more inclined in terms of traveling, exploring the local region and all? That's where you can give them recommendations about some of the local tours and all. So all of this is now actually practically possible. I was just reading a few days back that in Las Vegas, there's a lot of preparations going on in terms of coming up with the first AI automated hotel in Las Vegas by the name of Autonomous. And that's going to be another game changer where everything is going to be done completely with the use of AI. So this is where I believe that the future is heading to. And what it means to us is because given that Pakistan is on the global scale in terms of tourism, so yes, for us as hospitality service providers, it's imminent that we continue to invest in this particular platform, because that will really set us apart as to how we cater to our guests, whether they are traveling in one part of the country or another. Because when we have that information, even before they check in, we know that, okay, how technology can be used to the advantage in order to make this stay as memorable as possible.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your comment. Dr. Omer, I forgot to ask you one last question. Can you guide us, what are the new developments the Saudi tourism is in the process? Because a lot of awareness required in this market. I'm assuming NEOM is one of the new developments, and I'm sure there are other developments. Can you give us some key parts?
Thank you for the question. Of course, Saudi as a destination today is evolving. There are a lot of giga projects. I would not say mega. There are giga projects that are being worked upon right now. If in the last month we had presence of at the WEF in Davos, where His Excellency the Tourism Minister of Saudi Arabia, he mentioned that this year Riyadh will be itself. Riyadh as a city or the capital will be hosting more than 25 mega events,
wow,
conferences, exhibitions, and then followed by from leisure perspective, there is going to be Qadiyah, is an entertainment city itself, which is going to be starting in the first phase, starting from 2026 onwards, expected to be starting. And then we have Alola as a sustainable destination. And there are a number of destinations within Alola that give you a very different and a very local experience. Imagine enjoying a swimming pool or a very luxurious kind of stay within huge mountains. So it's a very, very different kind of experience. Then the world's first ever skiing resort in the desert is being worked upon. It's known as Sindala. Then there are multiple projects. So today, with the ease of visa and facilitation by the Ministry of Tourism in collaboration with Ministry of Interior and Foreign Affairs, there are more than 12 visa types available. If anybody having a Pakistani passport, but if you have a valid visit, Schengen or American visa, you can get an e-visa online directly and you can land into Saudi. And one of the things that I would like to convey through this platform is there is still a myth that revolves that if you have an Umrah visa, you cannot go for visit.
Correct.
Or vice versa, if you have a visit
Correct.
visa, you cannot go for performing Umrah, which is wrong actually. Visa is the gateway that lets you come into Saudi. Yes, other than Hajj, because Hajj has a special Hajj visa.
Yeah.
But other than that, if you have Umrah visa, you can explore Saudi for tourism purposes as well. If you have a tourist visa, you can perform Umrah on the same visa as well.
Are the destination products available online?
Most of the OTAs have published their products online. Even for reviewing the products on what is being offered on a daily basis, the travel trade partners can visit the Visit Saudi website, which has a list of all the activities that are going on, specific activities by different cities, by different regions, by their choice of preference, from heritage to culture to culinary experiences, even the list of restaurants based on the cuisine. For example, if you're landing in Jeddah tomorrow, what sort of food is available, what kind of food or what kind of restaurants are fine dine restaurants, Michelin star restaurants, local experiences, local delicacies. So everything is available on Visit Saudi as a platform. Other than this, there are offline content as well that can be obtained from the local DMCs. But yes, for a mix and match of different components, you can even, as a trade partners or the travel agents, they can even design an itinerary on their own and discuss with the local DMC whether this is doable or not. Or if they want to have a specific event. For example, today, you can host a corporate workshop in Mecca and perform Umrah at the same time.
Wow.
Secondly,
This is the news.
you can organize your corporate meeting in Medina and visit the Rawda Mubarak as well.
So you are saying the MICE is available?
MICE is available, of course. Interestingly, there is another element that has recently picked up that is not been published as a product but what I've seen over here is that some of the hotels that are facing Kaaba or facing Haram in Mecca, they have some suites which are open that provide you the partial Haram view. So people like to, nikah or Aqd is, it's something that is a memorable event of your life.
Correct.
So people organize these events with the event management companies in these suites where you get a very clear view of Haram. The event is organized within the hotel suite with a few people from both the families, and then you can stay the night in the hotel, followed by your reception that can be organized in Jeddah or Alola or Riyadh or a destination of your choice.
I guess the B2B market needs to learn a lot. There are so many offerings are available.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Inshallah.
Ms. Nazareen, what's your recommendations how the government or the private sector need to implement AI or automations or the data ethics in the travel market? Because one of the challenges, the CapEx. So you put a lot of investment into it, right? So how do I monetize my investments? This is the bigger questions at this point of time, right? A lot of investments are not doing in the developing countries because one, the size of the investment is too big, right? And the second is, how do I need to monetize it? How do you respond?
I'm glad you asked the question. So it's how does government, private sector enable the capability of using the tool or the technology, which is AI, and its various functions that it provides you to service different elements in that value chain. And the different elements are the customers and the people who make up the entire ecosystem. Tour operators, destination management organizations, government officials themselves, people who are tour guides, as an example. I was listening to the examples from all our guests, talking across from the corporate, the hotel sector,
Correct.
going to heritage, culture, adventure tourism. The Saudi Arabian example is interesting because I was there for Global AI Summit in 2022. And they took us to Diriyah in Riyadh. And that was, for me, was a fantastic experience because I think it was the first wave of tourists or people coming in, being invited from all over the world to experience not only Vision 2030, but it was already the starting of that dialogue, if I'm correct in saying, from around that year. So having thought about that and looking also back at how countries are now operating, if you look from the year 2021, we are now in 2025.
Correct.
There are over 80 to 90 countries that already have or are in the process of establishing national AI strategies. Kenya on the African continent, I'm going to all refer back to the South African and African example, have just launched their draft AI national strategy. Why are we talking about that? These are important to remember because the tourism sector, as an example, when we also looked at the South African national AI strategy, there was a public commentary from various organizations that it didn't as yet effectively address both the concerns of stakeholders in that value chain around how do we service the customer? Are you going to help us with accessing a data set? Are you going to help us with accessing better connectivity? Because that is also a challenge, whether it's 4G, 5G, and now 6G that people are talking around. And when the customer is experiencing this, what kind of device are they using as an example? Now, there are various components to think about in that entire planning around what a scenario may look like if you are servicing a customer.
Yeah.
But when you talk about the main things that you've picked up, you talked about the monetization. Monetization for many people sitting in this room right now may look like the large tech conglomerates, Meta or X, Amazon, any of the other organizations that give us the capability to use their technologies, cloud computing and the AI functions they've built in. On top of that, or any company that we have in any of our regions then is invited to build on that to service any of the industry verticals. That would be tourism is one of them. A point I want to make quickly about the data component. And I've been thinking around, this is always very, very important for me, which I always say to people, no matter how many times I repeat myself. But languaging is such a critical and crucial component of how we then experience what would be data used for training of the models. In the travel industry, as one of the guests said here, hyper-personalization is the crux of what the travel industry is servicing. If you think about the cultural and heritage and religious perspectives, what's interesting for me is that we are sitting here from countries typically have a reputation for everything other than tourism, which is more around, I can't travel there, I'm going to get shot at. I can't travel there, I'm going to get robbed, like in South Africa. The common question is, will I be robbed if I walk in the city of Joburg? That's a common question. But languaging is so important. So all the work that everyone in this room is doing right now is to change the narrative of the languaging that's used to describe what we do in our countries to call people to culture, heritage, religion, because that ancient wisdom that's built into all of those things it does not at all represent terrorism. No, it represents the spirit of humanity.
Correct.
And so if you take that and you build it in, there's a mindset shift with developers and technical people building the architecture globally for AI that is then filtered down in order to service the customer better because they start understanding what that means. So for me, I think that's a very important point for everyone to remember.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Last, Dr. Muhassin, one of the key points right now in Pakistani B2B market is, so there is a lack of awareness in the B2B segment of air business that if we go and adopt the technology, right, we don't have the customer to adopt it. So even if I have a OTA portal and I'm a B2B customer, right, how do I use my portal, right? The alternative is that, I give my login to the customer to use, right? The question is, does the customer is ready right now to adopt the online formats in Pakistan, especially in the air segment?
Faraz, you're absolutely right. This is one of the biggest challenge which is currently facing by the existing OTA players, existing B2B OTA players. As you know that Pakistan is a very diversified market. We have more than 5,000 travel agencies across the Pakistan.
Wow.
From Peshawar till Karachi to Gwadar, right? So, and once you are talking about the technology, once you are talking about the online login, it needs to be give the more awareness to the people. And unfortunately, this is the biggest challenge which is facing by the B2B players due to the lack of awareness. It is not easy to shift the people from the old traditional methods to the new technology. Yes, everyone is facing this challenge, and we are working closely with our all B2B players, B2B partners, in order to promote, in order to educate them, in order to start the awareness sessions, small seminars, and giving them the opportunity. Look at it, if you want to use the B2B or OTA, what benefits you will get it. So yes, it is a challenge, and the people are working on it. But again, the new technology, the new terminologies will take place very soon. People will adopt it, but with the passage of time, it will come.
Thanks. Then, in the same line, are you optimistic on the Pakistan's OTA business as a journal? Then,
Yes, I am. In the last 20 years, as you can see that there is a lot of big names in the market who right now completely vanished because they did not adopt the technology. So if you did not adopt the technology, you will be lacking. So people understand it, but again, there are some internal challenges which currently Pakistan has in terms of the payment solutions, in terms of the some policies of the government. So it will take time. But yes, I am looking at it that in the coming days, you will see a lot of change in the OTA part. A lot of new players will be coming.
how do you deal the budget airlines? So more the budget airlines, the GDS share will go drop down.
Okay, being a part of the Sabre, yes, we are looking that the budget airlines are increasing in Pakistan with a rough estimated number. In 2023, it's approximately 17% in the total aviation industry of Pakistan. But now it's more than 35 to 37%, which is a huge number, huge number. And probably you will see that more is coming as well. So yes, it is a challenge, but again, this is the part of the business.
But I mean, good for the consumer.
Yeah, of course,
mean, being
good for the
Pakistani, we should be
consumer,
happy with
because
that,
you know
right?
Pakistan is a little bit low economical side,
Exactly.
so people will go for the budgeted airlines.
Thank you so much. I like to end this interactive conversation. I'd like to thank you to this distinguished panel of speakers who are here for us. We had a very limited time, so I need to cut short there. There are plenty of sessions in this SDF. I once again thank you to all the distinguished panel, and we look forward to see you in future as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Audience. Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Thank you so much to all our panelists for enlightening discussion. So now we are moving to the certificates distribution. Ms. Adiba and Mr. Aftabur Rahman Rana to please distribute the certificates to our valuable speakers. Audience, please give a big round of applause for all panelists.